What is going on, guys? SageArtz here and welcome to today's video. So we are on the fourth part of our What If Deku Met All Might earlier series, and this particular one should be very interesting following the events of part 3. And as I always do, I would like to thank you guys for watching the videos and showing me support. It's really insane the amount of people have been liking my content, so I just wanted to show my gratitude. Also, I want to give a quick disclaimer before the video starts. I'm going to have a community post going up soon where I'm going to give you guys a chance to just state what kind of content you want to see on the channel. The My Hero content will always be here, but if you want to see other animes, other stuff in general, just comment on the community post, and I guess the ones with the most traction and the ones I really like, I'll be taking into account. So yeah. Also, my first video on the Promised Neverland should also be dropping this week, depending on the time I upload this video, so you guys can look forward to that. And once again, thanks to the amazing drawer poster for the thumbnail. I'll leave a link to his Twitter down below, so make sure to check him out, and let's begin. So where we last left off, Deku has just gotten the high score on the ball throw. He beat Bakugo by 1 meter and the quirk assessment test has now come to an end. Deku is relieved at the fact that he didn't lose to Kacchan and loosens up a bit, whereas Bakugo storms off in rage after ranking in 3rd place with Deku after Momo and Todoroki. He's mad enough that he was on equal standing with Deku, but to be overshined by 2 other students he wasn't even focusing on infuriates him. The students begin making their way home, and Deku is walking with his 2 new friends Ochako and Ida. He begins writing in his notebook about all the quirks he saw today, and also wonders if there's any information he can use to add to his own arsenal. Ochako peeks over his shoulder and says, "What are you writing about, Deku?" To which he responds in a flustered manner, "Nothing, it's nothing. And by the way, my name's not Deku, it's Izuku." He then clears up the confusion by letting his new friends know that that's what Bakugo says to make fun of him. To which Uraraka says, "That's funny, because Deku sounds like the Japanese word for you can do it." Deku, enlightened and happy by her words, says, "I'm Deku," while they walk off and the first day of school comes to an end. Fast forward to the next day and the students at 1A are told that they are going to be undergoing combat training against each other. They get changed and Deku wears proudly the suit made with his mother's love and affection as he comes out of the tunnel into ground beta. Everyone's geared up and ready to go, and All Might proceeds to announce the teams. He also says that this practice session will be set up with 1 team playing the heroes and 1 team playing the villains. The first teams to fight is Team A, which consists of Deku and Ochako, and they'll be going up against Team D, which is Bakugo and Ida. Straight away, Bakugo grins as he sees this as another chance to show his superiority to Deku. And just as he's about to name call, he calms himself down and says he's going to take this seriously and will let the results show what he's capable of. Midoriya looks at Bakugo curiously as he walks off, then him and Ochako start discussing plans and strategies that will increase their chances of winning. All Might further explains the win conditions for heroes is to seize the nuclear weapon, and for villains all they need to do is protect it within the time limit. The combat training begins and Deku and Uraraka proceed down the corridor. Deku is under the impression that Bakugo will go after him first, so he tells Ochako to stay exactly 5 paces behind him. So when Bakugo attacks, he'll try to restrain him momentarily so she can use her quirk and take him out of the fight by making him float. They keep on walking cautiously, ready for any attack from the other team, but there's still no sign of the enemy. Deku and Uraraka begin to worry. 5 minutes has passed out of the 15-minute time slot and they still haven't made the move. Also, they haven't covered that much ground because they are being cautious of all the blind spots. Deku begins panicking since Bakugo hasn't attacked yet. He was sure that was the course of action Bakugo would take. So Deku starts running and tells Uraraka they should hurry up. They should try to capture the weapon right now since they're running out of time. And as he turns around, she's nowhere to be found. Deku halts as he's completely dumbfounded at the events happening, when he begins to hear footsteps coming from 2 directions and Uraraka is still nowhere to be found. Bakugo and Ida come out of the shadows and have Deku completely cornered. Deku says, "Where's Uraraka? I was sure you would come after me." To which Bakugo responds, "I was thinking about doing that, but you know, I thought to myself, I'm here to win. I'm going to be the greatest hero and I'm going to surpass even All Might. You've always been like this, Deku, trying to figure people out and writing in that shitty notebook of yours. So I assumed you would guess my normal course of action, to run straight into battle. And I decided not to do that. I'm going to beat you at your own game, and stay back for her as this one's mine. I only agreed for you to take out the girl." Bakugo was serious about beating Deku, and after that stalemate the other day with the assessment test, he realised that his hot-headedness clouded his judgment, and he can still be the best but he would have to go in slightly a different way. Deku, completely shocked at Bakugo's sudden change, activates full cowl, and thinks to himself, how is he going to go about escaping this situation? It's 2 on 1, he still doesn't know where Uraraka is, there's little time left and the room with the nuclear weapon is still unknown to him. So he's pretty much screwed. Ida comments that even though this is training, he hates to play the villain role, and menacingly says, "It's about time we take you out, hero." Midoriya looks in confusion and Bakugo loses his cool and lashes out at Ida. He says, "Just watch over the girl and go upstairs." Deku, being perceptive as always, now knows roughly where his target is. While Bakugo is distracted, he dashes for Ida and goes for a smash, but Bakugo completely speed blitzes him in the confined space and pins him to the ground. Bakugo insults Deku, saying how sloppy his movement is. And do you really think you can beat me like that? Ida, who sees the two fighting, says Bakugo, don't mess this up, as he goes around the corner and runs up with a tied Uraraka to the weapon. As Bakugo tightens his grip on Deku's arm, Deku lets out a scream in agony. He's getting desperate and everything is just a mess. He's lost his teammate, time's running out and he can't even move. And a little side note for those watching, Bakugo didn't act the same way he did in the original storyline, as there was no need to. He wasn't completely blinded by his rage because he thought Deku was tricking him all along due to him actually having a quirk, so Bakugo's grown a bit now and is thinking somewhat rationally. Deku then uses one fall to flick his body up from the ground and get Bakugo away from him. The two end up on opposite sides of the corridor. Bakugo is closest to the side that Ida escaped from and is blocking Deku's path. Time is ticking and Deku grows impatient while Bakugo grows more and more furious. Bakugo calls Deku out, saying he probably already knows how his quirk works and how it lets him secrete natural glycerin like sweat on the palm of his hands to create explosions, but let's see how you handle this one. Bakugo pitches his hand forward as he gets ready to use his gauntlets. He says all I have to do is pull this pin and boom, all the sweat his gauntlets have been storing will come out in a massive explosion. And with this I win, Deku. Deku looks on in shock and his legs tremble slightly as he realizes how screwed he is. He thinks of a plan and realizes that he can use the Delaware Smash to try and counter, but wind with an explosion could end horribly. But it's his only long range move at the moment, so we'll have to do. Deku moves to the edge of the wall and braces himself while he gets ready to flick his fingers. But he has both hands ready separately to release multiple smashes at once. Bakugo fires and the whole corridor is engulfed in this explosion. All Might screams, "No, young Bakugo is too dangerous," as his classmates look on in horror. A few seconds pass and as the smoke subsides, Bakugo's victory smirk turns into a confused expression as he sees pieces of Deku's hero suit torn up and burnt on the ground. Bakugo walks closer and the commentary from his teammate from the headset doesn't even reach his ears due to his confusion. Ida says, "What's going on? What was that loud noise? Are you okay?" Bakugo says Deku, trying to convince himself this must be some kind of trick. But him dropping his guard would end up being his downfall in this situation, as he failed to see earlier the hole in the ground, meters ahead, created by Deku's smash. Bakugo runs to inspect it, thinking that he was outplayed and that Deku fought so quickly to dodge the explosion by hiding in the hole. But it wasn't over. He had thought Deku went underneath to dodge, but he'd actually put 3 plans into motion just before the impact of the explosion. First of all, he fired one Delaware Smash upwards to break a hole in the ceiling, and simultaneously shot another one into the ground as a decoy. And finally he hid around the corner, the last place Bakugo was expecting to be after seeing the decoy. Bakugo turns around as he sees a battered Deku in sprint motion ready to jump through the hole in the ceiling, which will take him to the floor Ida and Ochako were on. Deku leaps through and sees Ochako tied up and Ida protecting the weapon. Even though he's barely conscious and fatigued after the blast, he runs straight for the weapon. The situation looks hopeless, but he moves forward because that's what heroes do, and he lets out a big smile in the face of adversity. Ida positions himself ready to take out the threat, but looks surprised as he sees Bakugo behind Deku, releasing a long-range explosion. The explosion is about to connect, but Deku faints. He was exhausted from the battle and distressed at the overwhelming odds, and this allows him to dodge the explosion from behind, just barely, and the battle ends. The students waiting in the monitor room as well as All Might scold Bakugo for his dangerous actions during the fight, and All Might announces that Midoriya's team win due to the fact that if the nuclear weapon was real, that last explosion he shot off would have caused the death of everyone, and it was a very foolish move. Bakugo, utterly defeated at this point, is at a loss for words. He was completely beaten despite the odds and them having the overall advantage. His ego is now damaged and he looks on in frustration as he watches Deku get carried out on a stretcher, and it ends there. And that's it for the video, guys. Once again, thank you all for checking it out. I really had lots of fun making part 4. It was just flowing really well at the time of me scripting it. That ended up becoming way longer than I thought, and I really hope you enjoyed watching it. Also, make sure to tell me what you thought of the Deku vs Bakugo fight, and let's hit 400 likes for the next what if. You guys are enjoying it, so I'll keep them coming. Also, check out Drew Repulsor and keep an eye out for that community post, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.